Thanks for clicking. Welcome to another Knowledge Math production. Today we're going to be talking about absolute value. The definition of absolute value. What does it mean? What does it do to a number? Okay, what does it mean about that number? So let's get started. Take a look. All right. And we'll see how it goes. So here we go. So here's some things that you need to remember. Integers. Integers are positive or negative whole numbers. Remember, that's what we make our number line out of. Positive numbers are greater than 0. Negative numbers are less than 0. All right. If I want you to go 22 feet below sea level, remember sea level is 0. So 22 feet below is negative 22. A bonus of $150 means you get $150. 7 points lost is a negative 7. Okay. So now if I ask you to graph negative 4 on the number line, you're going to put it right there. Negative 3, 0, and 3. This is set notation, by the way, folks. We're going to talk about set notation coming up in a later video. It'll be new to many of you. But I just want you to graph all three of these numbers individually on the number line. So negative 3, there it is. 0, there it is. And 3, there it is. Okay, negative 2, negative 1, 4, and 6. Notice the negative 3 and the 3 are both 3 units away from 0 on that number line. That's a key. That's what's going to play a big difference here when we talk about absolute value coming up. Okay, the opposite of a number. Every integer has an opposite number. A number and its opposite are the same distance from 0. All right, that should make sense. Like 3 and negative 3. They're both 3 units away from 0. So the opposite of negative 34 is positive 34. The opposite of positive 100 is negative 100. The opposite of 0 is 0, right? Or 0 has no opposite. Okay? All right. So again, negative 34 and 34 are both 34 units away from 0 on my number line. Okay, graph the integer and its opposite. Graph negative 6. What's the opposite of negative 6? 6. And again, each one is 6 units away from 0 on that number line. Here's 5. Its opposite is negative 5. And they're both 5 units away from 0. Negative 1. And its opposite is 1. Both of them are 1 unit away from 0 on the number line. And that's what absolute value is all about. The absolute value of a number is the distance between 0 and the number on the number line. Remember that when we talk about absolute value and distance, distance is always a positive number or 0. Okay? Think about distance as being the miles you travel, right? In a car. Okay? The odometer in your car, right? It's the thing that measures the miles or how many miles your car has gone. That number never goes down. Like, for example, if you drive in reverse out of your driveway, right? You put your car in reverse and drive out of your driveway. The number of miles you've driven don't go down. It only goes up, okay? That's because distance is always positive, no matter what. It doesn't matter which direction you're going, okay? Distance is always a positive. 2 vertical bars are used to represent the absolute value. Right? The symbol for absolute value of 3 is the absolute value of 3. Okay? And again, these bars are saying how far from 0 am I on the number line from that number. Okay, so the absolute value of negative 13. So if you're at negative 13, you are 13 units away from 0 on the number line. If the absolute value of 44, you are 44 units from 0 on the number line. The absolute value of negative 1999. You are 1,999 units away from 0 on the number line. Absolute value is always a positive number. The absolute value of a number is always positive, even if the number is already positive, because it's telling you how far the distance from 0 that you have to go on that number line to get to that number. Okay, order these numbers from the smallest to the largest. Okay, absolute value, we've got to do some math. Absolute value of negative 15, that's 15. 11, 2, negative 2. Absolute value of negative 4 is 4. So, from smallest to largest, the smallest number here is negative 2. Then 4. then 11, then 15. So we got 4. The absolute value of 44 is 44. The absolute value of negative 8 is 8, negative 1. And then the absolute value of negative 32 is 32. Okay, put the numbers in order, smallest to largest. Negative 1 is the smallest, then 4, 8, 32, and 44. Okay, I probably should be writing them as absolute values. So let me go back here. Negative 2, absolute value negative 4 is next, then 11, then absolute value of negative 15 is last. And here, this would be like absolute value 44, and this is absolute value negative 32. This is absolute value negative 8. If we're writing the numbers that are given there in order, that's the order they would appear in. Okay? And finally, it wants you to evaluate. So absolute value is like parentheses in order of operations. You do what's inside the parentheses first, then you do the absolute value of that. So if I say negative 4 minus 5, the signs are the same. I'm going to add the numbers together. It gives me 9 and keep the sign. So the absolute value of negative 9 is 9. 2 minus 8, the signs are different. So I'm going to subtract the numbers. 2 minus 8 is 6. Take the sign of the higher number, which is the 8. So the absolute value of negative 6 is 6. And that's it. Okay, that's absolute value for you. As always, thanks for clicking.